There we go. Little theme tune.
I
Still,
miss it.
I still love that little theme tune. And unfortunately, I took off the mixer off my computer because, like, running so many bits and pieces and crap like that on your computer, it slows down the streaming process, and yeah, there's a lot of technical. Yeah, unless, of course, I had a supercomputer running to do that, or do what Jen does. I need a second computer just to do the streaming. Yeah, I got a second computer, but that does our gaming host, so I
Yeah.
can't. I need a third computer just to. Don't get. We're not going to go there. Okay, we're simply just not going to go there. Unless, of course, somebody wants to buy me one. Hint, hint. All these expats with all the money. Yeah, and today we got Nomo. Say Nomo. Say hello. Say hello in Thai.
Hello.
Yeah,
That's not. Yeah.
That's more hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, sexy man.
Sexy man. And as Nomo would say, he's not a sexy man.
คุณร้องมาก
Yeah, g'day David. Good to have you along. We've been able to chat before we started. We'll extend that chat in just a minute after we do all the intros. Chris Brown, g'day. How you doing? Todd Austin, how you doing? Mike Herbert, Jim Collis, g'day. And yeah, the whole just welcome aboard again. If you want to come in the channel and have a chat, you're welcome to do that. If not, then don't. But it's a lot easier than typing because there's a 30-second delay with the YouTube algorithm trying to check that I'm not swearing enough, or too much, or whatever they do, or if I'm showing my cock or something. I don't know. You know how it goes. Yeah. If the ingest for Twitch can have a 3-second delay, I'm sure the ingest for YouTube could have a 3-second delay.
Yeah.
That's it. End of story. No, it's got to go through this algorithm, that algorithm, that algorithm, that algorithm before they rebroadcast the technical side of the internet. Anyway, what we were doing, we're talking about, if I scroll back, we're talking about immigration. David said he had a little bit of a hiccup in his immigration 90-day reporting last week. And it just reminded me of other situations where I've heard over the period of time, over the period of the time I've been here, that is, of the way that immigration system works. And I think the caveat would have to be, the underlying caveat is the fact that the 90-day reporting does not link with the immigration rule, immigration system. That's like one's a whereabouts and one is the technical side of, the longevity, and they don't link up in any will because I've never seen it. It's all paper. There's mountains and mountains of paper in Changwatana. It is absolutely ludicrous. One match and that place is up in smoke. It really is. I hope they got good fire suppression there. They got boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. Oh my God. And even when I had my little hiccup with the banking, third year in, and I said, well, last year you approved my situation with the Citibank. Go and find that. Oh, we can't do that. Well, why not? Probably because it doesn't exist anymore. It's probably already been burnt. G'day, Mr. Mark. How you doing? But what it was what David was just saying, he went to Bangkok immigration there to do his 90-day report. But from what I'm understanding is the fact that his visa was done by an agent in a different province. And I've heard of this situation happen before. Because as we know, like the province agencies are a lot less officious, a lot less checkboxy. And if they know somebody in the office, it's just an easy thing. Oh, you stamp the book and away they go, But then, of course, what happens there is the fact that it doesn't align with the computer systems that do exist in the main head office. And so when they start to run it, they have a big, I can't do this, because they haven't got a checkbox for that one. And of course, it's always up to the foreigner. I don't know why the onus falls on the foreigner as a responsible person, because it's a Thai did this, which is a little bit outside the rules. And, well, again, the rules are not really clearly well defined as well. But You know, it's weird. Again, we always come back to the whole diminished responsibility. Nobody in Shangwatan is allowed to actually think for themselves. They've got to talk to their superiors. I know when I had my banking issue, it had to go through 3 superiors. No, the girl on the desk, she couldn't approve it. She took it to her superior, who said, "Let me try and talk it to the." She took it over to that person there, and she went away for like half an hour until she came back, and that final person gave the approval. Right after they sort of said, "Please write out a statement now, stating the fact that you will have this fixed for next year." And I actually had to hand write a statement to go on my file, the fact that I promise that I will have a Thai bank next year, and then it was all done. But yeah, what it is the fact that if your registered address is in one location, and you have your visa renewed at that address, then it goes into the computer system at that address. If you then do a 90-day check-in in a different province to where that visa has been renewed, unless of course there's a matching TM30 or a Tabian barn in the system to show that you've done the right thing, right? That used to have a TM28 as well. You had to, before they axed the TM28, it was up to the foreigner to actually submit the TM28 to align the TM30 that the Thai person is supposed to do. And it's just an aligning the things. And I think that's what the situation you had there is the fact that nothing was aligned, and it required the supervisor just to come up and to say, it's okay, Can't really blame the Thai person, because Thai people can't be blamed for things that they do like that for some reason. And that'll have me sort of put on the blacklist again. Diminished responsibility. That's all we can say. Sex sells. Okay, good morning. Yeah, okay. As long as you just keep it clean, we'll have you join us. But Chris, over the past 2 years and something like 8 or 9 return trips, the feelings haven't changed. Feelings of what?
Returning.
Oh, returning haven't changed.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, okay. Returning. Good. Because, yeah, that's it, Mike. Because Thailand.
Yeah.
Look, yes, people get really, weird about the whole situation, but, like you come here to Thailand to retire, so you got 365 or maybe 366 days in a year, right? And you only have to give up 4 of them or maybe 5 of them, to deal with this shit, like that's pretty cool, I think we put too much emphasis on the difficulties of that situation. And we're always the same, but in Australia it's different, or in America it's different, and in well, that's because that's a different country run by a different group of people. You just don't let it worry you. There are some pretty straightforward things you can do, and like I've pretty much tried to do everything by the book and handle it myself, and not want to be blaming other people. Right, so I've always sort of taken the onus on myself. I've taken the responsibility to make sure everything works. Like this, at the end of this month, I've got to take the responsibility. I've got to get my driver's license renewed, right? Which also happens to coincide with my birthday, which is also coincides with my 90-day reporting, which will, but yeah, there's an app for that, and although I've opened the app, I haven't actually registered on the app. It's just on my computer, on my phone. I'll get shown that it'll work with me and fill in the right details so we can get the appointment, go up and stamp the blah blah blah, and hopefully it'll all go through nicely. Last time I did the renewal wasn't a problem. The last time was one that actually did worry me, because I had my license issued in Pattaya. I was down there for 3 days. I actually had an agent do my license changeover in Pattaya, because I talked to her online before I came, so I had everything squared up. She said, this is what you need to bring, blah blah blah, and so we went down to Pattaya, and I just gave her the 5,000 baht to do it, and ding 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 ding. But of course I wasn't living in Pattaya, and so, well, as you know, with a license you need to have a residency certificate and everything else. So, but that was all taken care of, right? which was weird because I had a residence certificate for the license in Pattaya, right? And then I'm running around with a license, right? If I ever got a fine, where's the fine going to go? She doesn't know where I live. It's going to go to this person's house or whatever that was registered as my registered address. They've got no idea where the frick I am. I'm going to start using the word.
They've got the passport number on it, so they can then.
Maybe then,
Passport number.
yeah, they can. Yeah, they can probably backtrack it somewhere through there or something like that. But it did worry me the fact that when I went to have my license renewed in Bangkok, my only problem with the license renewal is this colourblind test, which I believe they've actually removed that circular dot chart. You know, the way you got the little heuristic dot charts. Yeah, saw that. Yeah, the one. Yeah. Because in that there, so at what they call 12 feet distance, that chart there, just in my vision, sort of is a bit blurry because I can't see the hue difference between the red and the green. Because, and again, when you think about it, that red and the green that they're using on that chart look nothing like a traffic light, right? And all the traffic, signalling and traffic indications on the road are quite bold red and greens. Whereas that chart at 12 feet away, or 3, 4 meters, 5 meters away, that chart at that distance, they're little tiny dots. So I could show you the layup if you wanted to see the thing, but I have to go find it. But yeah, they pointed a chart. What colour is this? What colour is this? What colour is this? With a pen, and you go, looks red to me. But if they allowed you to walk up to the chart, so I could actually then walk back from the chart, I could then, because I have a photo retentive memory, I could sort of tell you where everything was without even looking at the chart. But anyway, long story short, we got through it. I was able to guess enough of the right colours, and then of course they put you in this little vision thing, right? Which is there's a couple of lights at the side and they turn on red, yellow, and green, and you've got to tell them what colour it is. And of course you can't put your glasses on for that, yeah. But anyway, I got through that. It was the only problem I had was my colour vision. Why you have to have colour vision, I'm pretty sure 15 to 20% of the male population can't see a red light to start with. You've seen how many people run red lights around here? So green is for go, yellow is green is for go, yellow is for caution, and red is check for police and go faster. But hey, anyway, I'm chatting.
What questions, Chris? I don't miss Adelaide. I miss my friends, but we can always line video chat if they need me. So I'm just happy to be back here. So they're talking about the 90-day reporting with the retirement visa. Well, it's always been required. It doesn't matter what visa, apart from the LTR visa, you've got to do 90-day reporting.
Yeah.
Simple. TM30. Go in there. Get it done. I had to do it when I came back from Australia. I saw the messages floating around. I think I touched on it briefly last week. Went into the Rayong immigration. Moving back to the same address, do I need to report it? Yep. Stamp.
Even when if you do qualify for that special situation where you get the permanent residence addition to your passport, basically you become a permanent resident in Thailand, not the one I've got, the pink card. There is an extra step. They take 100 people per year, per country. You've got to go and do a language test and a whole bunch of other stuff, and you get a permanent resident status on your passport. Even they have to do 90-day reporting. No, they don't do 90-day reporting. They have to do a yearly report. But they still have to report, even though they're a permanent resident. So, yeah, you just don't let it get up. It's just one of those sort of things. Anyway, what have I missed?
Got my visa renewal this week. That's the big news from my end. And went to Rayon Immigration for a first-time visa renewal. And a lot of people are going to hate this, but it took me all of 15 minutes.
Yeah,
that was it. The only little thing was they wanted to have a copy of my previous visa health insurance, because I had the new health insurance, and I couldn't find any reference to that anywhere. I did a lot of research, so I don't know whether that's this immigration department specific or whether it's across all the other immigration departments, but I didn't have a physical copy. I had a email copy, and they allowed me to email it to them, and they printed it off for me. I did the signature, and that was it. So 15 minutes in and out.
Yep.
So
I think mine was. I think this my last renewal was only about 15 to 20 minutes as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
You know, just bring the right paperwork. It makes it simple for them. You know.
Ducks in a row. That's all.
Yeah.
You've got to have your ducks in a row.
And this is the thing. Like I know when I did it at Changwatana, they'd have to. There was these 2 extra forms you have to fill out. You can't get these forms anywhere. Let me see if I can find them for you. If we go to my thing, go to
Chris says
Google
my
Play.
mic level is low.
Is it?
Am I talking softly? Am I, Chris?
No, you're peaking in the mid yellow range, so without blasting it. So
I don't like yelling.
yeah, you'd have to turn.
Talk softly, carry a big stick. There we go.
So I'll give him another 5% on the volume. There you go, just so he doesn't have to shout.
Okay, Billy, what's Rayon like? I used to stay there. What are some of the things to do in the city? I don't actually live in Rayong City. I live in Bang Chang, which is about 20 k's outside the city. I've only ever been to Rayon City a couple of times with Marky Mark. I actually found a Emeroy barn there, so that was a big win. But I suppose it's like most regional cities in Thailand. You've got your big shopping centres, you've got your bits and pieces, but I like a little bit of peace and quiet, so I'm in Bang Chang, which is close to the airfield. So if I was living in Rayong, it'd be another 20 odd minutes added to my trip to the airfield.
Yeah, so the other 2 forms that you can't get online is the STM2 and the STM2 terms and conditions. These both need to be signed, but you can't get these forms anywhere. You know, they're not available on the immigration website. They're given to you when you're at immigration. Right, now I've managed to get immigration in Nakhon Pathom to actually give me copies, which I've now got as PDFs, which makes it easy for me, and I just print them out. You know, one is basically, you know, sort of saying acknowledging your penalties, and the other one is acknowledging the status of your, like if something goes wrong, then blah blah blah, then they've got all right to kick you out of the country. And that was always one of the things that always held up part of your renewal process in Changwatana, because they'd then pull them out of their drawer and say, sign this, blah blah blah, and you know, I just what am I fucking signing now? You're trying to do something quickly, and they now want you to read what you're signing. And it's not really well worded, But yeah, if you want a copy of those 2 forms, then let me know. I will get them up to you. But yeah. We were talking about, one of the things that is a boon for Bangkokians now is the Pink Line. There's the new government complex, MRT. Is it MRT? I think it's an MRT, isn't it? Pink Line's MRT? Or BT? I think it's MRT. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's one of the 2 anyway. But yeah, so there's the station right outside the main place, and there's a bit of a walk, but there'll be motorcycle taxis going down the road so you can get into the main building, because that's I think it's a good 1,500 feet, probably half a kilometre walk. It's not
500 metres. Walking is the best thing you can do.
But usually getting there and and it's bloody hot, and it's anyway. But it's a bit of a walk, but you can get down there. But as I said, there'll be a motorcycle taxi sort of service going up and down the street. So, Lake was always such a challenge trying to because I had to get in from Nong Kem, which was away over here somewhere, and up in through here, down through there. Oh, bah. But yeah, so it does make it a bit easier. Try to avoid the taxis, because the taxis get stuck in traffic. Anyway, where are we up to? Because Thailand, what have I missed so far?
Billy wants to know if I want to move to Pattaya. It's not my cup of tea.
Like you want a new hole in the head, yeah, okay, right.
Not my cup of tea.
Get a proper visa. I've been told to apply for a retirement visa prior to the next year to maybe bounce around countries like Vietnam, Malaysia. it does make it easy. Well, if you can qualify in your own country for a retirement visa, go through that paperwork, because in fact they're still going to want to see you have enough funds, which, in my case, when I got my visa back then, they wanted to see my bank statements, and they saw my income statement. They saw $7,000 a month going into my bank account, which was the after-tax pay and all that sort of stuff. So they saw that I had equitable funds. I also had like 30,000 cash in that account as well. And yeah, that was all. As long as you can qualify for that visa out of the country, it makes it simple. Just remember to get the multi-entry visa, and that gives you a full year of bouncing in and bouncing out. And the only difficulty you got to deal with is the TM30. For when you get in, make sure that aligns, that you come back in, and so on and so forth. So, price-wise, it's the same as a 90-day visa. I think it's 1,900 baht.
If you're going to do in and outs, it's 3,800.
Oh, 3,800. 3,800 baht. Yeah.
Which is what I got this time around.
It was 200. Back then, it was 200. I say the single entry was $140, I think it was, and this multi-entry was $225 from Australia. That was.
Yeah. I could get them at the airport when I do go back, but it's easy just getting a multi-entry, and you don't have to find that sort of visa exempt, let you back in the country counter. And at the airport, you just want to get in, get out, get on the plane.
Well, actually, when it comes to the retirement visa, it's probably one of the visas that really doesn't see much change at all. The only change we've seen in 30 years on that was the stipend that you have to, or the money you have to have in your account. I think it was prior 96 or something. Your grandfather in at 500,000 baht rather than 800,000 baht. But yeah, you can't get any more. And I think if they ever put the price up, we'll still be grandfathered in at the price we came in on. As long as we came in on that price, if we let that expire and then to come back again, we'd have to put it on and do an adjustment. But yeah, the retirement visa hardly gets any changes at all, apart from the medical insurance aspect of it, which is not a bad option. You've got to think about your health these days. There's a recent article of an expat in Phuket. He's got sick. Now he's on sort of, not on life support, but he's in a public hospital for quite a serious illness, and of course that'll be a GoFundMe probably next week because he hasn't got the money to pay for it, and his health insurance is not covering it, or like something about that, or he didn't have the right health insurance or something or other. He had some sort of bogus health insurance that, it's health insurance but doesn't cover international travel or something like that. He was just unprepared. And we've been saying that for like 10 years, that if only people just take 5 minutes to actually do a little bit of research, diminish responsibility.
I don't have to say it anymore.
Yeah. That you'd know what to do. But as I said, they're like, unless of course it's on TikTok, they won't know about it, will they? Me bagging TikTok again. I haven't put a TikTok video out for a couple of weeks, so I should do some more. What extra paperwork? Paperwork 90-day reports, I believe you need to show evidence place of stay. Well,
yeah.
Any of that sort of stuff, you have to show evidence. It's called a TM30. That's a process that the Thai person who's providing that residence needs to comply with. But 50% of Thais doing Airbnbs and shit like that, they don't want to get involved. And it's a fucking crazy. Yeah, get the idea. Well, I'm just using numbers as emphasis. I don't know the numbers, but there's a good deal of people don't want to play the immigration game. Because even Shanya's father, because like I was staying, in Shanya's father's house technically. That was my residential address. He didn't even know he had to do it. Right, when I had to realign my visa, because when I walked into the country, right, they stamped my book with the 30-day stamp, because I wasn't aware that I had to open the page that showed my 1-year retirement visa, so they put the right stamp in. They just opened my passport, flicked through, and just stamped the book. thinking I'm just doing a 30-day entry. I didn't know that. And when I got home and I was just doing my double checking my paperwork, I'm going, what the fuck is this? What, my visa runs out in 30 days or in 25 days? Well, that doesn't make sense. So I had to do some inquiry, and then we had to go back into Changwatana, which was another fucking trip in there. And I think Pa had to pay the fine. This is way before the TM 30 days.
Yeah.
Right. This is way before TM 30 became an issue. Right. He just didn't know about it. He was the one who was providing the residential address, and he had to report the fact that a foreigner was staying in his house. And it existed back then, and we got caught. We caught in that little thing. But it wasn't a big issue back then. It's just pay the fine. He didn't know, and his problem, not mine. I was there I was just there to sort out the visa, and that took like half a day. While they corrected the paperwork. Again, their mistake. No apology, no anything like that. But inconvenience. But yeah, it's the way it works. That's why I've always done it myself now, so that I don't have any problems. Anyway, Chris. The bank. Chris, you just have to weigh up the circumstances and make it worthwhile. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you do. Okay. We want to live in Thailand full time. Well, if you qualify for the over 50, this retirement visa, just don't worry about it. Unless, of course, you got the money for the long-term visas or the elite visa or anything else like that. Just the retirement visas, way to go. It really is. Prior to that, okay, you do have to play some games. I think the only real safe way under the age of 50 is doing the elite visa these days. There is also business options, setting up a business and everything else. You've got that option, but again, the paperwork involved in that. You've got to have lawyers involved and so on and so forth, and it's complicated. The retirement visa is simply, in my opinion, the easiest way to go. And you're probably still trying to sock money back into the bank before the age of 50. You're going to need a bit of money to get through the the hoops here, and probably twice as much as I came with, if you know what I mean. With bank interest increasing in Oz, is it worth using a visa agent using their services? 30k baht for 15 months renewal for. Well, it's you just got to look at the price. If you've got the right paperwork, there's no need to use an agent, right? But you've got to make sure you got the right paperwork. It's again, how much responsibility you want to take, and the easy, no responsibility attitude is to spend the money and get somebody else to do it. Yeah, that's right. Robert's there too. There are lots of options, but this thing here is not scrolling properly. Well, I go one click down on the scroll wheel and just does the whole
pages.
Scroll slightly. Investigate. If you're rolling in cash, use an agent. Exactly, Mark. It's under the cash options. The way it makes it easy, And look, I know a number of people, in our coffee crowd. That's Jerry's coffee crowd. 70% of them use agents. They're in Bangkok. They don't want to have to mess with it. And I think they all use the same agent, or they use Todd Daniels. He's not really an agent, but he's a man in the loop that knows the ways around the traps. You might have to buy him a cigar or a few drinks or something like that, or worship Trump or whatever, and he'll do it for you. He's a Trump supporter. Up to him. He's also a Kiss fan. It's the weirdest thing. He's got he's got the 2024 red cap on with a Kiss T-shirt. You recognise him a mile away. Funniest guy ever.
Oh, well, between him and Mayor Groves, there's a font of knowledge there. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put my hand, but I talked to you, and I talked to Mayor Groves. I've done my research already, so it's just double checking that I've read it right and have the correct understanding. But in my world, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So I will ask. 90 Day Online, have you tried it? No. Wazza and I, we've talked about this before. Go into the immigration department, get your face known, get your name known, do your 90-day check-in personally, be polite about it, and when it comes time to renew your visa, they've already got a rapport with you.
Yeah.
And we talked about it last week. Don't go in there with your tank top and boardies on. Go in there looking like you've actually made an effort to clean yourself up.
Cleanly
And it
shaven,
goes a long
nice
way.
hair, a shirt of some description. Probably not with expletives on it, I'm just saying that because Jack turned up with a T-shirt last night. W2F, what the frack, it's a Battlestar Galactica T-shirt. So I want that T-shirt.
Okay, that's your Christmas present.
Well, you find it for me. Okay. Size L. Okay.
Size L? All right.
Size L.
All right.
Well, Australian size L. I don't know what size that is in Thailand, but no, don't do the XL thing. I'll squeeze it on L. I'll squeeze it. If it's tight, it's tight.
Okay.
I'm getting a bit ribbed now. It's all right. It's okay.
Good.
It's,
Good.
Still got that little podge in the centre there, which is annoying me. It's just that takes forever to get rid of that podge. But yeah, all the girls think I'm handsome man now, so it's okay.
Good long bar.
I'm handsome man.
Yeah. Billy, is it 80,000 K in a Thai bank 3 months prior before you apply? Yes, it is. Best thing to do is just get it and leave it in there. Yes, there's no major interest rates here in Thailand, but it's there. You've got it covered because you can bring it down, and Mayor Groves will correct me if I'm wrong, 2 months after you've got your visa to 400,000, but it must be back up to 800,000 3 months before.
Yeah, I said I had $35,000 Australian in my account when I applied, and they also saw, the monthly salary going into the account. There was just no question that I had money to support myself. Then of course when I got here, I went to Citibank in Central, what do you call it, the big Central Plaza there. There was a Citibank office there, and walked upstairs, and they said, well, we're not really Citibank Australia, we're Citibank by name, but we have an internal transfer process, and we just transferred the appropriate. I just transferred $1 million baht across, and it was all done, easy peasy, and I've just kept that float ever since, and that's what I do. That's my warning sign is if it goes under $1 million baht, I just top it up when it, month by month. I just top it up, always bring it above the million and work on that. So I run my own overdraft, if you might sort of say, but it's always good. I think one of the problems people have with bank accounts, and like I could be called out on this one as well, is they stick money in one bank account. It just sits there, Well, it's not really showing Thailand and the system the fact that that money is being used to support your lifestyle, right? And that's a red flag. So, they want to see the fact that you are doing what the policy is intended for. This money is your expenses for supporting yourself. If it doesn't move, it sticks at $1 million baht or 800,000 baht, 12 months at a time, and the only thing they do is to get it re-stamped there, that's the warning sign, the fact that, well, how's he supporting himself?
Yeah.
Right? That's where the red flag is. They want to see the money going in and out and being used on a regular basis, but coming in from an external source. If they see it coming in from a Thai source, that also is a red flag. Well, where's that money coming? You can't work here. Where's that money coming from? It might be okay for a one-time sale of a vehicle that you bought previously. Like I said, if and when we ever sell the CB, she'll put that money in my bank account because I paid for it, and then I might give it back to her again, in installments. But that's another story altogether. But I want it back in my bank account, okay, because I came out of my bank account. We have that understanding. It's okay. People think that we're a bit weird, but I do have a fair lot of clout and thing when it comes to that sort of stuff. I do keep things under a level of control. Unfortunately, again, level of control. Our beautiful little puppy dog last week, you might have seen, has been given away. Mum could not handle it. She was running around every 10 minutes, wiping up pee off the floor. Like Labradors have got extremely weak bladders, and they are so happy. And of course, the front yard within a week is like shit everywhere. She couldn't even walk in the garden anymore. She just said, "I've had enough," and so told B to come and give it to somebody else. But it was cute. I actually saw definite what they call it, neuroplasticity responses with Ben. That was one of the things I was doing while the dog was there. When I'd come downstairs, I'd find the dog, I'd take him up to Ben, and then Ben would have a bit of a play with him, and you could see that, it was just that, like he's normally sluggish, when you try to get a response out of him in bed, but as soon as you put the dog on there, it was like he just suddenly woke up. And it was, you could see a smile on his face, and this was great, so it had a positive side and a negative side, but the negative side was overruling the positive sides, and we're still not doing enough neuroplasticity with Ben, which is driving me nuts. But again, it's a battle of wits on that one, and I'll deal with it in my own way. Anyway, chatting away. What I scrolled off 10:30 around. In the long run, though, what's one day every? Yeah, exactly. It's just a few days every month. It's just every year. PR visa sounds better. What PR? What?
Permanent residence.
Permanent, yeah, but unfortunately, it's no. You still have to do immigration trips. Permanent residence still has to do immigration trips. It's only once a year.
Once a year.
Yeah, and it's like a 90-day check-in, right? But they have to renew the visa. I think there's still a cost, but I'm not quite sure the cost. It's 190,000 baht to get it. You have to have been in the country for at least 3 years. You have to be fluent Thai speaker, and you have to be able to read and write Thai as well. And you go through an interview process. They take 100 people per year per country, right? And I think the admission process starts around September each year. It's like it's a calendar event. If you want to know more about that, what do you call it? What's that influencer? Richard Barrow. He talks about it quite often when it's visa time. You need to follow him on Twitter or Facebook and a few other places. But he keeps you in the loop. He also talks about trains, so he's a cool guy. Exactly, Mick. Do your 90-day reporting on? Okay, the 90-day reporting online. In my case, I did that 3 times when I was had to report in Changwatana. Out of those 4 times I tried, because first time was when they just introduced the website, and it just didn't work. Right, I tried 4 different browsers. The thing just did not work. Right, so. Bugger that, so I'll go and do it. Second time it worked, right? Third time it didn't work, and I'm going, this is just seriously, if you're going to have a right of computer system, make it work. Try to get me to sort of, I'm an IT guru. Come on, I could do this shit in my sleep. How about you pay somebody to do the job properly, right? There are plenty of people around the world who know exactly how to do this. If you don't know how to do it, stop trying to be, and get somebody to just pay somebody to do it, pay somebody who knows what they're doing. I don't know. It's all backhanded freaking agreements and shit like that. University students out of university trying to do IT. Oh my God, don't get me started on that shit. Because they're running off 10-year-old study guys. Like IT, like it changes every 3 months. You can't even write a course for it. Unless, of course, you're in the thick of it, you're fucked. Anyway, but yeah, the PR. Look, I do qualify for the PR, but I'm flatly not going to. I flatly refuse to learn Thai. I've got an app to do that now. I'm
You're
real.
going backwards. You're going. I had you on the right track, mate.
Now, but interestingly enough, I've been using more Thai in conversation now, just casually,
Yeah.
right? Because I've got a backstop if I'm not understood. It's a confidence level. I don't know if that makes sense. It's a confidence level. By having that, which has perfect grammar, perfect Royal Thai grammar, right? I can talk to it in my, Australian accent, being a normal person. The AI knows what I've said, and apart from a few, I think I used the word Thai and thought it meant tie, as in something you wear around your neck. And didn't know how to translate Sukhothai, which is, sock tie or something like it came up with. But there was a few words that, had difficulty with. But as I said, it just gives you that confidence level that I can have a conversation. I can use my Thai, and if they look at you weird, and I go, hold on, and then we have the conversation, properly. But I've been using my Thai more and learning more words in the process because I'm no longer feeling like that I have to use pidgin English and try to get around and find appropriate words. And so I've only been using it for 2.5 weeks, and I said it just given me a whole different level of confidence. And I think that's part of it. It's a confidence level. There's also a language theory that says the fact that there is also a point in any sort of cultural integration that suddenly there is a click. There's always a click where it becomes natural. And maybe that was the kick in the arse I needed, just something to give me that backstop, because I rely on Shanda to do it, it makes life easy. I'm just an easy living guy. I can't be bothered with all this shit anymore. I came here to retire. Look at us. We're 15 minutes ago. I haven't finished coming through what people are talking about. I haven't even got to the article I was going to talk about yet.
Road says, in regards to the permanent resident, just a quick clarification, you don't need to report once you're a permanent resident. It's only if you do travel that you go to immigration.
This is Richard Barrow says a completely different story. So it's two people telling two different stories, and again, it might be provincial differences as well. So it's weird, but yeah, you do have to sort of still tell them where you live, right? And it is like a 90-day check, right? But it's a yearly check as a tour. It's not like they want to see your visa, and then it's basically they're just checking your residency where you live process.
They still do those random checkups on people, like. My first year, remember, I had the immigration officer come around and
check on you. Right? No, so I've been here 7 years. I haven't seen one, unless of course they've come and mum's dealt with it. I don't know. Does Warren live here? Yeah, Warren lives here, and they run away. Well, where is he now? He's out shopping or something. I never get told about that. If they was, I've never told about it. But I've never had that issue, and probably they'll turn up tomorrow because I just said that. They know where I am. They see me every week on the video. There are some other things going on here, guys. Being that publicly obvious, they know where I am. They see me in the videos. I'm not trying to do anything nefarious. I might swear a bit, but that's beside the point. They don't care. Where are we going? Billy, myself. Here's 100k in the bank. We did that, didn't we? 10 minutes every. Come on, can we just get that scroll? Oh, we are there, then. Billy, 3 months prior to. 3 months. Isn't yeah, okay, right. So, Todd, that's just what the fuck is going on with this thing here?
It's delayed on your end.
No, somehow somehow the thing's not scrolling down properly. Oh, there it is. Yeah. The probably because I wasn't clicked in the windowed box, you know. I was on a different box over here, and and the scroll wasn't working. Okay, 15 days, 7. Yeah. So the online reporting is actually an 83-day report, effectively. So I like the 90-day, 4 times a year, because I always do delay it a couple of days to align with the Wednesday, so we can go and do our lunch date and everything else, and then we can go and do a few restaurants out that way. And I promise I won't do that long format. I have to agree with Rob, but when I put it up there, I'm going, well, ASMR is as a process where you are more involved and engaged with your audience by doing things like whispering and eating and things that they can do themselves. And it is a sort of it's a psychological process and it's supposed to be a big thing on YouTube. And that was my attempt at a bit of ASMR. But even when I looked at it and did the cut, and I'm going, do I fill the blank spots with music, or do I just leave it, or do I cut that out? How much do you really want to see me eating, or do you just want the talking part? I think I'll just leave it to the talking part in future. I didn't like it myself, and looking at the statistics over the last 24 hours, it sort of shows me the fact that I didn't hit a nerve on that one. So you're just always trying things different, okay, guys? It's just although some people thought it was okay, I won't do it. That's it, because I didn't like it, Rob didn't like it, and I have to agree with Rob. Anyway, where are we going to? PR, you get a blue Tabian barn. I didn't know about the blue Tabian barn. That's interesting. And a separate silver book for your PR. No need to report your address. There's a need to. You could use the Tabian barn. That's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We have many friends who have it. Yeah. Chuck Honeycutt is going to do it. Yeah. I had a fight with what do you call it? Sonny Holland. Yeah. Down in Grill Bill. I had a fight with him, when he was on my Discord back a while back. Doesn't exist. You can't do it, because he's one of these guys that uses agents, and he's got a business, and he's got a business visa, and he would not believe me the fact that a visa costs $900 to renew. Just a normal retirement visa. Would not believe. I could show him my receipts. No, it's bullshit. Because he pays 25,000 baht to his lawyer to do it. That's what it costs. I'm going, well, whatever. I'm not going to fight you. If that's what you want to pay, that's what you want to pay. But he was adamant, you can't get a permanent residency, And there is also, on top of the permanent residency, I think another 5 years on top of that, you can actually apply for citizenship.
Citizenship, yeah.
But don't correct me on that one, because I don't know enough about that at all. I do believe you actually have to forego your current citizenship at the previous country. You have to do a citizen transfer, something like that. But it is possible, but again, why bother? I'm sure it's been used nefariously in some situations to own property, but there are caveats. But yeah. Anyway, good info. Dave, you have to show a minimum of 65,000 baht in your account for a month. Is 65,000 baht a month option? No, it's always been there. The 65,000 baht a month. I said, my budget was 75,000 baht when I did my original numbers. Now I'm only getting 68,000 baht, so that's about what I'm transferring on a monthly basis. But I still manage to live on that sort of expense, except for the couple of times a year where I've got car insurance coming up at the end of December. So that'll require that's probably about 20,000 baht for that. So that'll be an extra transfer I've got to do. But outside that, I manage to pay the mortgage and keep food on the table and go and have a bit of entertainment. I just don't have as much entertainment as what I used to. I buy less girly drinks, but it's how it is. Chris, the ability to get work permit and you have to wait 10 years only to apply for citizenship, but you can have a dual nationality. You can. Okay, I didn't know that, because I know that there was some issue with Thais having dual nationality, but they tend to ignore it. But So I would have thought it'd be sort of extra enforced on the flip side, foreigner coming here, getting us the citizenship Thailand. I'm pretty sure they want you to, comply, But again, you're Thai citizen, so you're now Thai. They'll waive. I don't know. Anyway, there was one article I wanted to cover off. Let's go to this one here. I don't know if anybody really wants to sort of Songkran set to go global. This one came up this morning. I thought, let's spend the last 10 minutes covering this one here. We all love Songkran, and we all put up with getting wet for 3 to 5 days in the year, but Thailand will transform Songkran into a month-long global water festival next year to boost its soft power to attract international tourists. Sina Pratong, True Thai Party leader and National Soft Power Strategy Committee president on Friday announced that the committee agreed to push Songkran to become one of the world's best festivals. Let's make Songkran Festival event that everyone has to fly to Thailand to attend. Let's make Thailand home of one of the top 10 global festivals. Starting next year, the Songkran Festival will not be the same. We will not splash water only for 3 days, but for the whole month, with events to be held nationwide. Okay, I'm not going to go through the rest of the article. You can read it here. But yeah, thoughts quickly, guys, before we let me get out of this one here and close that window. We don't need that window anymore.
That means I've got to get a month's worth of Hawaiian shirts ready.
Well, I've got 3. So that's and Mum washes every second day, so I think I can manage with 3 and t-shirts. So I'll be okay. But yeah, anyway, so what does people think about this whole Songkran for a month? Look, I'm worried about the motorcycle riders. That's my biggest concern, the motorcycle riders, because I cannot ride I won't ride a motorcycle over Songkran because the water on the road and everything else, and you're riding down a side street or even down our Klong here, and you can get splashed with water. It's not easy to when you got water in your face trying to, and you got a Klong on one side and you've got a 3-foot drop on the other side of a rice field. It's challenging,
Yeah.
But they don't care. You're on a motorcycle. You're a free target. As everything in Thailand, maybe it will be one of those sort of things that there might be some caveats involved. Water play will only be in certain areas rather than randomly. But again, how do they police that? I don't know. Anyway, water costs to go to the roof. I think our water bill's like 120 baht a month, and I've got 2 girls here plus all the washing and everything else, and that's pretty good. Can't complain about our water bill. Month of deadly roads. Yes, Chris, exactly what I was thinking. Up there for thinking, down there for dancing. That doesn't work. Go to your local immigration office and get the handout, Billy. That'll tell you all the requirements you need. Your local office, and as of all 88 offices, vary slightly. That's when I did my first one here. When we transferred address, because we moved in here on the very end of April. I was actually all due for my 90-day report in May anyway. So once she got all her Tabian barn, right, we just rocked up there, and I had all my paperwork for the 90-day, and she did the TM30 on the spot, and she just had it dated for today, although we'd been in the house for 3 days. They didn't give a fuck, It's supposed to be done 24 hours, but 3 days later it wasn't a problem. But I've always sort of gone through and sort of said, look, what do I need? Well, that was in May. Of course, my next 90-day was I May, June, July, August. But in August, I sort of said, I've got my renewal coming in September. Please give me everything I need. And that's when I got that STM2 stuff, because, you can't get that anywhere else. But they gave me nice pristine copies, which I managed to photocopy and create a PDF for you. And so I rocked up with all that stuff, and no problems whatsoever. I think the first time round they looked at the health insurance and they made a phone call to the agent themselves because that I think they've never seen one before, probably, never seen that insurance. It's, I can't remember who it is. It's the same people who do my motorcycle insurance. But yeah, anyway, back to Songkran. I love Songkran, the best 3 days of the year. Well, it's now going to be a whole 30 days, okay? Yeah. Grumpy old men, that's why, yeah. Most expats that live in Pattaya don't like Songkran. Yeah, well, they'd rather the wetness on the inside rather than the outside. They also hate Christmas. That wouldn't surprise me. Those 25 minutes away rant much. Those 25 minutes away rant much better.
Well, we're 25 minutes from Pattaya.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's 25 minutes. I don't go there. The only time I go there is, even the airfield's not even in Pattaya, so.
Yeah.
But I've only been there, with our 3-day excursion to actually find out what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
And then to do shopping at the big macro there to get some Farang stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
The Pattaya expats can be grumpy, then they say Songkran goes for too long. I'm trying to avoid them. I said, Pattaya is a very, very small place. It's not Thailand.
No.
It's like this. It's like I don't want to use the anachronisms. It's like Jerusalem. It's got a big wall around it. It's got a big wall around it.
Don't go there.
It's not really the same country, But yeah, how's Susie? Yeah, she's wonderful. Still struggling. When I rocked up yesterday for the meetup, there was absolutely nobody in the bar. That was at 3:30. I went up and said hello and gave her a hug and everything else. She says, "We're getting thinner, even more thinner," and I'm going, "No, 74, 75 kilos. It's about steady now." Right? And she noticed I had a croaky throat. She said, "You got COVID?" I said, "No, I got sinusitis." I've still got sinusitis, and it's fucking annoying. But after we went through that, and I went over to Redfern, had a couple of drinks there, to cool down, which is why I go there, because they've got a nice air conditioner in there. Gets you ready for the 3 hours in the warmth of the Susie's bar. I really couldn't have it I couldn't do that thing in Redfern. Seriously, it just wouldn't work. But not much better than bloody autocorrect. Yeah, I know. My dad's moving to Bang Sarai. Where is Bang Sarai? I know roughly where it is. Was it West Coast, East Coast, over your way, isn't it?
I think it's over our way.
Yeah.
I think it's above the Pattaya region. Is it Patachombri? Mayor Groves, help me out.
That's right. You'll get back there. My dad's moving to Bang Sarai. Nice little place to be. Oh, look at this. There's plenty of nice places around Thailand, and nice to say. The building around here is just going up at a rate of knots. It's seriously, how much concrete is going to be poured in the next year? Old man today. I love Pattaya as well. Okay, yeah. Exactly. Good to move out of Pattaya, exploring other cities. Yeah, that's it. Got to do some touring around the place. You're on fire, Mark. Probably Melbourne weather's frozen your fingers. 30 minutes from 30 minutes from Bang Chang.
Okay, so it's what, west of Sattahip, I'm assuming. I'm still learning the area, but I'm getting there.
Just down from John Tiam. Okay.
Yeah.
So probably because I've driven through that way, because we've gone out to the Buddhist footprint, and a few other trips out that way, and we've got family down in Chantaburi. I think it's Chantaburi is where the Buddhist footprint is. So we've been down there a few times. So I know the rough main thoroughfare, and that's why I thought I knew the place, because we probably stopped there at the beach there somewhere.
It is near Sattahip. Okay, that's cool.
They have a nice little beach there. Yes. I've got some nice photos on my Flickr of that area. the girls playing, playing on the beach and doing weird shit, as they do. They do weirder shit than the normal girls, We should talk more about that one day. I've got to do more videos about that. The differences between, the regular, cisgen and the transgender, girls. In my opinion, there's so much more fun. But that's just me, You can be yourself because there's no, there's no wanting to have a family sort of aspect to, any sort of relationship, if you know what I mean. Anyway, it is our 1 hour mark. So I've got to find where the closing screen if I can find that. Again, a nice chatty group today. We've had a bit of fun, you want to talk about anything? Hit me up beforehand. Hit it up in the Discord. You can always message me on Facebook. I probably won't communicate much on Facebook, but hit me up on Facebook, on Twitter. All my links are quite available in my profile on YouTube. You can easily find me anywhere if that's the convenient way to reach out and chat. So just feel free. I made it easy for you guys to communicate. All I say is the fact that where we hang out as a gang is Discord. That's the gang, Yeah. Nomo's part of the gang. Trolls is part of the... We got our own personal troll in our group. His name's Trolls. We've got to talk to him later because he was looking for a PHP programmer. I found Keith is a PHP programmer, also in the security industry. So we might be able to sort of solve that problem for him as well. Anyway, I like as a province has some expats, some places to feel, honestly, apart from Rob, 30 Seconds in Thailand, it's the only Farang I've really seen out this way, when I bring out my shopping, he's bringing home out his shopping. I had a shopping basket full of shopping, he had a case of beer. That's it. It was funny. It was one of those funny moments. He's got a girlfriend down this way, but apart from me and him, probably the only two Farang I've seen here. Really, I suppose when I say Farang, I'm talking white Caucasian. But I'm pretty sure there are other Farang, but I can't recognise a Myanmar expat from the next one because they look Thai to me. But Shanya knows the difference. There is a definite physiological difference between Burmese and the Thai. I don't know whether they smell different or something. I don't know, but we got a lot of Burmese around this area. And of course, I think we got 3 or 4 Chinese couples in our Muban here. Looking at facial constructs and things like that. But again, Thailand and China, there's a lot of cross-pollination there over the last few centuries. So a lot of Thais can look Chinese, and that's part of it, I guess. Anyway, I'm rambling now, so I'm going to get the fuck out of your face. What the frack? We screened our Farangs. Yeah, okay, right. Where are all the Aussies? Well, if you know Aussies don't hang together. That's it. Best Aussies are miles and miles apart. I think there's something to do with sort of like there's a mini sort of black hole forms and shit like that. If two get together in enough close proximity, and all hell will break loose.
Fabric of the universe will tear.
That's it, yes, exactly. I'm out of here. So's Todd. Todd's got to go to the hospital. I've got to go. I got to go and kill some zombies. So we'll get out of here. See you later, guys.